Fam, what's
So,
good? We're back with the PE Gooners. We're here to chat about the season, the past season, and a season review. Yeah, guys, let's get into it. How you guys doing? How you feeling after yesterday?
Guys, I think I'll step in first. We're doing well, and thanks for having us again, Keishan. I think yesterday's been, I think we're all a little bit sleep deprived from all the few celebrations. But I think it's a step in the right direction. And you could see there were a lot of rusty players out there, but I think the fact that we took it to the current champions, we faced them now at the end of September. So I think it's going to be a big boost for us, and especially now for the rest of the team for our opening game in 12 days time or 13 days time. But we're feeling good. I'm feeling good at least, and yeah, hopefully we can build confidence. The players can build confidence within the team.
yeah, dude, I'm very happy after last night. Even though we went to penalties, I think it was a great start to the season. The way we passed the ball around, very impressed. Even though some of the players just came back now from vacation or holiday, it looks like we're starting off pretty good on a different foot compared to last time. So I'm looking forward to this season. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Good man. Good. Thanks, man. Buzzing after last night's win. But yeah, we mustn't think that we won the Community Shield that everything is hunky dory. But it was a step in the right direction. I must say, Arteta's new philosophy as such. When we're playing the big teams, we kind of our defense is stronger, and we're not playing, going attacking them man for man. We're sitting back and we're attacking them when we have to. So I like that thing, and not like with Wenger's time where we just went all guns blazing and trying to play the attack against like Liverpool, Man U, whoever. So I think this is working for us now with the staff that we have as such. So yeah, but we're going in the right direction.
Yes, let's go into a bit of the questions. One of the ones that talked about the kit change. I think it was quite a big change this season with a new sponsor.
Yeah, no, look, Adidas is known as a classic brand, and all the kits basically last season was, classic straight lines, Arsenal through and through, playing not too over the top as such. So, it's like Adidas tracksuits of old, and their shoes as old. I mean, it's classic. You see the three lines, Adidas, and that's awesome. So I think they stayed true to the brand as such last season. And as Murray is showing off his new one, they've changed it a little bit and brought a little bit of more retro, not retro as such, but funkiness to the new kits as such. So yeah, I think they're doing a good job at Adidas, and may they carry on.
Yeah, I love last season's kit. The bruised banana, amazing, love it. The retro one that I'm still trying to hunt down, still trying to find. So the iconic one with the blue sleeves and the gold in the middle. I'm trying to hunt that one down, but I can't find it anywhere. But I think last season's kit is probably the best one that I've seen them do in a long time for Arsenal. I think the last one that I really, really liked for Arsenal was probably the Nike one, the season before we moved to Puma, right? But Adidas just last season just, how can I say, leveled it up, and the way they advertised it was just like almost like a royalty, like this is London, Loved it. Got Idris Elba to do some skits with it. Loved it. It was amazing.
I'm quite thrilled that we've eventually moved to Adidas. Looking at some of the Puma kits that came out last year and even this season, I just thank our lucky stars that we're not with them, because we probably would have got some similar design to some of the other teams. But I think last season, like Earle said, Adidas blew everything out the water. I mean, you look at their marketing campaigns, it's almost as though they've taken an interest in the history of Arsenal and what Arsenal stands for, and they've brought that across in their marketing for us. I think they've incorporated that in the kits, and like Earle says, they've got Idris Elba, they've got some of the big players there, they've got a bunch of celebrity fans, and they've taken it to the people, and I think people bought into that. But I'm so glad. The Bruised Banana, the last year's kits were great, but now we're looking at a new era. Now I think it's the Arteta era. And I don't know, maybe Adidas are sort of, they're bringing through the history in Arsenal with the new kits. And once again, that shows like the interest in the actual club. It's not so much, or what I felt with Puma was, it was just, okay, you guys want a red kit with white sleeves. This is what we have. And that's it. It's a basic template. But Adidas have, I don't know, I could be mistaken, but I haven't seen another Adidas-sponsored team with a very similar kit to ours, for even if it was last season or if it was this season. I think last season's third kit was very similar to Real Madrid's, but our home kit and our away kit, they're very unique, and I think that speaks loads, because there's a lot of teams that have a very similar template, and I don't know, Adidas, they should have come aboard ages ago, and they committed to the team. The team looked like they're happier in the kit as well. They're playing the football that we want, so it's great. I'm loving it.
Yeah, as we got some new kits, we had a lot of changes this season as well. Moving on to the next question. Okay, I know you guys are avid Gooners. I'm an avid Gooner. This is the first time in our history we've ever had, 3 managers in a season, and I think that's one of the biggest talking points about the whole season. But we wouldn't want to go too much into it. I'd just like to touch on, let's talk a little bit about Emery and about Freddie and what they tried to achieve and where it went wrong for them. And then obviously we'll go into the good guy that we all love, Arteta, and talk about what he has brought different to the season.
Cool. When I look at the Emery era, I think we started off pretty well. In the sense of the guys, the team was engaged. They wanted to play. They wanted to see what Emery can bring to the Gunners. But then when he started changing things too quickly and playing players out of position, he started losing the players. And I think that was his biggest mistake, of not trying to bring a slower transition into his style of play, which we saw in other clubs as well. Once you do a quick transition, things fall apart. You need to slowly bring in your type of game, because the players' minds are still set on what Wenger did, how Wenger told them to pass, where Wenger told them to run. Now you're changing things too quickly. They're confusing the two managers in the sense of, I'm supposed to go there, but I'm not going there because I'm it's like bicycle riding. You're so used to doing things the same way, and now all of a sudden somebody tells you, don't do that, So I think that quick change from Emery's type of play really messed up the guys, and that's when he started to lose the dressing room, because players were feeling confused. And then on top of that, him not being fluent in English, so he had to get his other person relaying the messages. I think that could have also impacted him negatively. But he started off really well. It's just that at the end, he lost the dressing room, and that was the end for him. We all knew he's not going to last after that. Freddie, I think Freddie just took over, from where Emery. Freddie was there part of Emery's thing as well, but he was struggling, because he couldn't bring in his changes quickly, because he had to still stick with what the guys know how to play, and he didn't have the team for too long. So I don't say that Freddie messed up anything. I think he just tried to maintain what was already there. And then Arteta came in. First few games, I think he just told the guys, dude, I'm here for you guys. And if you watch the documentary, the Man City documentary, you can see what part he played in that. And he brings that different mindset to the players, in the sense of they need to focus on what they're doing on the pitch, what you feel like doing on the pitch, and not about, I'm going to shout at you for not playing the way I am. I want you to be free and also play what you're comfortable in playing it. And he's bringing that through pretty well. He's playing players where they want to be played. Other players, he says, look, I'm not going to play you where I want you to play, but I feel that you can bring a little bit more in this other position, especially for Maitland Aintley Niles. Like that dude, he doesn't want to defend, but he's playing pretty well when he's defending because probably Arteta said, "Yeah, you can still run up the field on the side, right? Just remember you have to come back." So no, I think Arteta's doing a really great job. I think that transition from Freddie then to Arteta went well because Freddie was there at the beginning and helped him slowly change the type of play. That's why the first few games we were very rocky under Arteta, but he needed to get these things across really slowly. Like, okay, we have to slowly transition out Emery's type of play from you guys and bring back what I remember Arsenal used to do. And it's the passing game, eh? So, yeah, I'm very happy so far with Arteta, what he's doing.
I think Earle's hit the nail on the head. Emery came in. I think he still maybe had a bit of an ego from PSG, thinking, if I could, win with them and if I could manage a team like them, Arsenal should just fall into line. And I think he came there with thinking that the players would just respect him. If I have to compare Emery with Arteta had a big advantage, whereas he knew the players. We knew majority of the players. And I think that's what Emery didn't do. He came in and he automatically said, okay, this is the style of play we need to do. Like Earle says now, Arteta's giving the guys free play and letting them play to their actual talents. So Emery could have actually just sort of come in and sort of said, okay, let me get to know the players. And if he had done that, he might have then changed his game plan or seen what their strengths are and then utilized the best in it. But I don't think he did that. I think he came in, I think he expected results immediately. But yet again, the board might have put a lot of pressure on him as well. They had to qualify for top 4. They had to win the UEFA League or the Europa League. And as we all know, we absolutely got thumped in that final. And then Freddie, he couldn't really do much. But I think he recognized what the problem was. And the first thing that he is that he worked on the defense. It was known that our defense were problems, and he focused on the defenders. He wanted to try and get some form of stability at the back, even though it didn't completely work. And like Earle says, he had a very limited time to make any changes and get them to play his way. But he probably saw a lot of problem areas that weren't being addressed when Emery was there. So the first thing he probably did is he went in, he said, right, the defenders need to do this. He brought Torreira back, and he told Torreira, you need to stay back. And then all of a sudden, Xhaka could actually then go forward. And then we, instead of seeing Torreira as a false number 10, we saw him as a central defensive midfield. And all of a sudden, we had a little bit more stability in the midfield. And then Arteta came in, and the first thing he did is he walked through into the coaches, and he says, right, we're going to get the drones up. This is what we have to do. So he came in with a plan. I think he was quite assertive, in regard to what's going on. I think even Mertesacker was sort of put back by, him just coming in and barking the orders. But he brought that winning mentality, and I think the players are now buying into that, and they're seeing that, okay, this is what's actually happening. I think our injuries have even gone down as well. We're not having players injured as much in training, but okay, look, Martinelli got injured, but that was like straight after a game. We're having more of our injuries now in the match. And I think that's also what Arteta might bring. Because, you look at City, they hardly have any injuries. So I'm hoping that he's bringing those training techniques and bringing that mentality that's going to, push us forward. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what Arteta can do. So far, he hasn't lost a game to one of the big teams. So yeah, we'll have to see. I think I'm not even going to include that Chelsea game where the player should have been sent off, but we beat them in the final. So, I think that trumps that. But yeah, I'm actually quite excited. I think the 12th of September can't come quicker.
Yeah, no. For me, Emery started off really well the first season. I had high hopes for him, including the players that we signed. These signings were very good, so it was optimistic that we're going to have a good season. And then something just went wrong. I don't know where he lost the plot somewhere. He didn't have a clear plan as such. He would chop and change, like Murray said. He would play players out of position. He would, have maybe Ozil in this week. Next week there's somebody else in that position. There was no stability as such. He didn't know who's his captains. I mean, he had 7 captains or what was something like that, a choice of. So for me, he didn't have a plan and he didn't stick to it. And that's as he went along and he made a plan. And I think that's where he lost, like Earl said, the dressing room and stuff. So yeah, and then the final was also, I mean, everybody lost respect as such for the finalists. But yeah, so not to be too hard on him, he had some good times at Arsenal, and yeah, and the language barrier as such as well, like Murray said. But yeah, and Freddie, I can't really rate him on. I mean, I think it's 4 or 5 games he was in charge. So you can't really say he just kept us afloat and carried on. But with Arteta, he wasn't my first choice by a long shot, to be honest. This is me being honest here. I would never have chosen him as my coach or manager or whatever they're called nowadays. But he has changed my perception of him. I mean, he came in, he had a plan. If you don't buy into what he's trying to put out there, he kind of says, look, you benching. I mean, Ozil at what, 350 whatever pounds, £1,000 a week or whatever, and he's sitting on the bench because you're not doing what I'm asking you to do. And that, I think, is respectful. I mean, he says, this is what I want. If you can't buy into this, then you out of the club or you're sitting on the bench. And he has a captain, he has his vice captain, and it's chosen. That is happening, and this is how it's happening. So I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing so far. And yeah, on to better things, I think. So,
yeah, definitely. I think you guys are right. Spot on with Emre. Yeah, so we wrapped up with the managers. You know, we hopefully Arteta's our guy going forward for a long time. But after the season, we had highs and lows, as we know. But for you guys, what was your biggest positive apart from the FA Cup? I think that was a positive alone, and obviously the Community Shield. But maybe like on other aspects you saw, and then obviously the negative that really dampened our season, you think, and if that is obviously rectified, we're able to achieve better things. And then obviously you can just mention what we need to compete with the top 4, because right now we're getting the results, but what do we need in order for next season just to stay afloat and be in that top 4 race?
I think let's start off with the negative. I think the whole season, or majority of the season, was extremely negative. I mean, we had Xhaka walking off. The players were just not gelling. It was just chaos in the club. And like you said now, we're all doom and gloom. We all thought it was all doom and gloom. But I think one of the main positives, and nothing particular sort of stands out, but I think the way that the players fought back once Arteta came in, and also, once Freddie was taking charge for that brief time, the players fought back. I mean, you look at Arsenal Fan TV. I mean, they were really going, they were quite cutthroat to most of our players. And there were a lot of fans that were really giving the players a hell of a lot. I mean, Xhaka had his family threatened and that. And for all the players to really come back and fight. And look, yeah, we finished 8th, but I mean, would you have said that we would have won the FA Cup, based on, from October last year? We wouldn't have even come close. But the guys fought, and I mean, we came back, we beat Liverpool, we beat Chelsea, and we beat Man U as well. So we got a good couple of results. I think we were going through a building stage, but that is definitely one of the positives that do sort of stand out. You mentioned player of the season, or the player that really sort of came up, or what was the other question? Sorry, Kishan.
No, it was just what do we need to compete with the top 4? Just to...
I really think we need a creative midfielder. I think our defense is, if we get 3 injuries in centre back, I think we've got enough cover, and that's where we've always fallen short as well in the past, where we've lost defenders and we've had to start, trying to bring a whole bunch of youngsters through. So I think we've got a good set, or Arteta's got a good choice of defenders. We're probably going to need to sell or loan players out, but I'm liking the fact that we're getting that our defenders in check. Definitely think we need a creative midfielder. I don't think Ozil's going to come to the party. Hopefully he will. But we need someone who's going to provide Aubameyang with balls. If we can get Coutinho in, that'll be absolutely fantastic. With Pepe, and hopefully we can keep Laka for one more season and get into that top four, and maybe even try and compete for the league.
Look, basically what we need to do is back the manager, give him what he wants, and from there I think the rumored players that's on the cards as such looks promising. And yeah, if we can get those deals done and Abba signed and rumored of Gabriel coming in, I think we're moving in the right direction. The lows of last season for me obviously was finishing 8th. Nobody wants to see that, as any club fan wants to see his club end up outside the top 4, but top 6 even worse, yeah, and the highs obviously the way that Arteta came in and changed the way we play and made us harder to beat. That's what I think we're moving in the right direction. We're not that team that, okay, City killed us recently, but overall we're not that team that you just run through nowadays anymore. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good sign of we going in the right direction. So yeah.
Cool. From my side, I see the time. Positives, of course, is players, the youngsters stepping up. Where the youngsters in the previous seasons were a little bit on the backbone. Saka coming through, Nelson coming through, our defense looking way better. Arteta joining the club again. Hopefully, he goes on to be a legend. Negatives, I think, from a board perspective, they weren't managing the club correctly. They let a few things slip through the cracks where we could have done way better for signings, managing how Emery operated, how Freddie operated, and of course Arteta just had to step in and take over what was already existing there. So that is the negatives. What we need, capital definitely, to push some great signings through there, right? And yeah, we need just the players to remain positive, stick behind Arteta and looking forward to what's happening going forward. I don't think that there's anything else that we reignite. Maybe Stan Kroenke out. That's another one that I would like to see happen. Take your Rams and go to United States. I don't want to see you guys, But yeah, everything else, I think we're looking good so far with Arteta there.
We can move on to a bit of a player rating. I got maybe just like a flash questions. Ask you guys like 4 questions and just tell me which player comes to your mind. So I know everyone knows this, but you guys have to answer anyway. So who was your player of the season?
Aubameyang.
My captain.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said everyone knows.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was a no-brainer. Okay, the most improved player.
For me, it was Xhaka.
Saka.
Definitely.
Number 33 or number 34? Or 77, sorry.
Granite.
Granite.
Yeah.
And the player that
Very true.
surprised you guys the most this season?
Saka.
Yeah.
You can see you guys are from the same supporters club.
Yeah.
Okay, it's quite easy. I thought everyone have different views here, but all right. Signing of the season.
Journey.
Any.
Really, guys?
No.
Really?
Player who didn't perform to your guys' expectations this season.
I had 3, so a few actually.
I I'm gonna say Willock.
I think Willock or Bellerin.
Mine was
And possibly Laka. I think Laka could have done a little bit better. Considering what he's capable of. But yeah, those three.
I've got the tank, Ozil, and Laka. Those three for me.
Did Ozil play?
At the beginning of the season, he did.
So we can select three. Then it's Willock, Ozil, and I don't think who else. Lucas Torreira. He faded away.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
But it's nice to see some disagreement here. I like it. This is a fun one. Which was your guys' goal of the season? And we all know it was voted Martinelli's, but you guys have another.
Mine is Martinelli.
The speed one, eh?
Chelsea
He
one.
runs past Chelsea one,
Yeah.
That one was good. And then the Saka one, the layoff and pass back to him, and then he scored against Liverpool. Saka actually did quite a few of those. And then Saka setting up
the tournament
in the Man U one.
No. He passed it off, he laid it off, then they passed it back to him, and then he striked it in. Just
I'm
after
with
the
you.
box. Saka and
And
then Aubameyang, both bicycles.
yeah, but Dennis Suarez, not Dennis Suarez, Cedric Suarez as well.
Cedric Suarez.
His first goal was brilliant.
What about Block's Carabao Cup goal?
Ooh, it was a good goal, but I don't like Willock.
But, to be fair, we had a few goals. You mentioned those ones. There were a few by Martinelli, a few top goals. Yes, Lacazette, one against Tottenham. That was a really good.
That was a blast.
It's just that it's always like the Martinelli one is voted because it was 10 men. We needed that goal, and I think it's the more the aspect around the goal than the goal itself, I suppose, and the celebration. Like that just stopped every Chelsea fan in their tracks to give winning the game.
And Keita eating.
Two of the goals in the Carling Cup against Liverpool. I think the one where Ozil assisted. I think it was to Niles. That one.
Yeah.
Except for Willock's one. Willock's was a good strike, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you commented which goal did you go with Martinelli as well.
Yeah.
So back to you guys said goal of the season was Martinelli's. So I just have last few questions. Who was your best young player of the season? I suppose we all know this. It was like the first question.
Saka.
I think he got a lot of chances.
Yeah, but I
Willock,
also think no. If Martinelli stayed fit, he probably would be up there as well. So for me, obviously Saka, but yeah, Martinelli could also be up there.
It felt like
I think also Maitland-Niles and Martinez. If you consider him a young player. But Niles has also really stepped into the field, so he's also done quite well.
Yeah, but I think like Saka just switched on like midway, not completely midway. He wasn't playing that well at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, that switch just happened, and he just stood out. I was like, this kid is here to kill.
So let's go into yesterday's match and first talk about what you guys have planned as a supporters club this season, and then talk about a little bit about yesterday and what happened and how it went. Not to give everything away, but yeah, I don't know who wants to discuss it between you guys, but
I lost my voice somewhere at Eddie's. I think it was a great success. We had a big turnout, which is always welcoming. I think we got a few new members or new people that decided to come through, and I think that they were quite impressed with how we held everything. There was a great vibe. And that's all you really want as supporters. Not only was the game great to watch together, but just the camaraderie, and it was just good to see everybody again. It's been so long. I think hopefully we can, as Arsenal sort of say, we move forward together. We're always forward, So I think there's going to be a lot more to come. As a supporters club, we've got a lot planned in the pipeline. touch wood that COVID sort of stays on level 2 or at least goes to level 1 and doesn't go backwards. But I think we've got a lot in store. So I think to be a member and to be a supporter of the PE club, I think it's going to be worthwhile, and I think the members are going to be blown away.
Nothing, no little tasty tantalizer for us there, not yet. Maybe just give us a little bit on how you guys set up the social distancing kind of the venue, or what was your guys' plan around it, just so that people understand, how it works, as watching in the supporters club and in South Africa, because that's what we do here. How did it work? Like, did you separate tables? Like, how did you guys structure it a bit? Maybe just chat around that. Maybe guys can use your idea and hopefully, it actually starts trending.
I think we were quite fortunate with having such a accommodating hosts such as Eddie Max. They've already been set up for the whole social distancing. So normally we used to be in a different room, but they've arranged for us to sort of be close to sort of like the restaurant area. So we were able to space out if need be. Sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. I mean, you sort of forget because you're back into the norm, but there's so much space. And I'm not too sure if you or any of the viewers have actually seen on our Facebook page when we were in the final with the Europa. I mean, that whole area where we originally had, and I think we had about 80 to 100 people there. That's the area that we currently have at the moment. So we've really been given like full run of the place, and I'm saying that with all due respect, just in case Eddie does actually watch this. But as I said, he's very accommodating with things, and all the tables are actually sort of spread apart. And it's not only that, we've also then given the responsibility to the people who have come in. We're hoping that they will respect everybody else's right for the social distancing. And it's there's only so much that we can do. We do have the hand sanitizers there. We do try and enforce the social distancing, but at the same time, it does come down to our supporters. So there's a lot of self-responsibility that we're hoping that everyone will take, especially in the season, because we want to meet up. We want to meet up on every week to watch the games together. But there does need to be those rules, and just for now, until everything does sort of pass by. But I think we are working that into our plans for the new season. But we're doing our best.
Well, that's great. I love the initiative and what you guys are taking to actually get the guys back together and watch with your homies, pretty much. As I said, all the questions, you guys pretty had the same answers, so you can see you guys are having conversations throughout the season, and that's your home. And like over here in Joburg, we have ours, and it's really, really exciting to see what you guys have coming and what you're already doing. I think you guys were one of the first ones to actually be back and host the game, and I'm glad it's a success. So props to you guys. The one question I want to ask, I know the game was amazing, and I'm sure you watched it till the end with the celebration, but Aubameyang's goal, I want to know how the social distancing helped there, because that goal was like, that can make anyone scream, rant, rave, because like, wow. And I know it must have been hard, but how was the feeling, I would rather say, to be with you guys and to see him score with everyone there, I've missed it so long. And, the goal was just, it was just Aubameyang, the class, the everything. So maybe each of you can give us a view on what it felt like being with your guys, being with your boys back in your place of, we'll call it home, at home, watching it with your fellows. So yeah, what was it like?
I think it was pretty awesome. When he took the shot, with Aubameyang, he leans to the left and he just puts it in. Everybody erupted. It was crazy. You could see people going in elbows and then handshakes, and they're like, okay, what's happening here? It's just the excitement. People got like into the heat of the moment, but the feeling, emotion took over. People were screaming, people were celebrating like we've already won the game. And then everybody, when the game started again, they started chanting names of Aubameyang's name, and then what was the chant from Fahim that he was doing there?
I turned off eventually.
Arteta, so. So, like the chances continued after that goal, eh? I think probably for 30 minutes still continuing, the people were just chanting after that. It was just continuing the whole time. I think we did do some videos where people were just chanting, continue, because it was so long. People would just not want to stop chanting. But it was very awesome. Guys were happy with the situation, what was going on the field. Yeah, no, definitely a blast. Definitely a blast.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome experience to be among the guys and to see the guy. I mean, before it's 3 or 4 months probably that we haven't seen each other. And then obviously there's few members that came, that new members, and so incorporating new members and greeting and meeting them, so that was good as well. And also Earl's wife hasn't been there for probably like a year and a half, maybe. How old is the kid now? Yeah. So it was good to see her as well. So yeah, it was a good vibe. Get out, see your friends, see your fellow Gooners. So yeah, it was a great day, and I hope that we could carry on and in a safe way, obviously. And yeah, carry on this season going forward, and the Gunners can be up there, and that will be good.
Yeah, I think touching on what Clayton said, yesterday was quite a trial run. I mean, as he said, we've been out for 3 months, and we've had to sort of change the whole look as to, with the whole social distancing and that. So it's going to be a big learning curve for us. So I know I've taken a lot of mental notes. I'm sure these guys have taken a bit of mental notes as to where we can improve, not only as a club, but also just for the safety of our members. So every single game that we have, or that when we meet up, there will be certain restrictions in place, and where there will be definitely improvement. Eventually, we might actually just take over the whole of Eddie Max and have the place completely full with red shirts and chanting the Gunners on, and yeah, we can take it from there.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have planned because, as I said, it's always nice to be back. But as you guys said, there's a safety aspect, and I think that having that in a consideration and providing what you guys provide is just great. Yeah, but going into next season, we have 2 weeks. What do you guys want to see? What are you looking forward to seeing?
So for this 2 weeks or whatever, I want to see. Obviously, there's an international break, so a lot of the players will probably go to their respective country games and that. But some more movement in the Arsenal camp, incoming and outgoing. We need to sell some players. So looking forward to the new season, and just for the fellow Gooners that's watching, if anyone wants to join Arsenal PE Supporters Club, we have Facebook page and WhatsApp groups, and look out for the posts. And yeah, sorry, free advertising, yeah. But and us as a board, we've decided with the COVID and all that, that money is a bit tight this year for most people, and we're sticking to our 250 rand a year subs as such. So yeah, not too bad. So thanks again for having us, and yeah, next guys.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking forward for this season, of course, is that hopefully we start seeing our players getting sold for the money they're worth, and not just a 27 mil. Bellerin is not 27 mil. If you need to take him, please, at minimum 40 mil, at minimum, right? But he's at least a 60 mil player, I would say. So our players shouldn't be going for cheap anymore. It's like we're just offloading for the sake of offloading. I think we should keep on to the players until the right price comes along. So we can spend, man, and get Gabriel and these guys in there. And then I think the AFTV I think that must just chill a bit, and I think Arteta has taken control of that, because they sometimes just spread some negativity around the club. So hopefully that just starts being more positive from the get-go, and they start trusting and believing in the players a bit more. Yeah, no, I think that if all of that falls into place, then we up for a great ride, because players do watch like Gooners, they do watch AFTV, and they see what people are saying about them. Yeah, hope so, hope so. So, like I say, if they can see that we understand that they made a mistake, they acknowledge it on their Twitter accounts or their Instagram accounts, and they're human too. They're not robots. Humans make errors. So if we support them, they would come back and feel, if they can see we motivating them, saying, "Get up, guys, come on, let's take it to the next one." Then definitely we up for quite an awesome season. And then, of course, I don't want to hear any rumors about Messi anymore. Messi is not possible. Definitely not. So, yeah, like the rumor thingy, I'll wait for the real news to come out before I would say, hey, this is the play. But people matching Gabriel, Cross.
During this time,
Say again?
during this time, it's just media frenzy, I feel. Like whatever they feel they need to report, they just put it out there. And us as fans, we go and click on everything.
Clickbait. It's so much clickbait. Yeah, but I think we're up for a good season. If we focus on the league or Europa, whichever one we focus our mind on, that's the one that we're going to see huge improvements on. Maybe even top 3. That's my prediction based on what I'm currently seeing. Top 3.
Wow.
That's nice. That's nice. We like hope. We like that confidence. Nice.
Nice.
I think that I've seen that Earle's mentioned Messi. I think the search bots on Google are going to go absolutely crazy for this video. But yeah, but yeah, no, I can't see Messi come in. And to be quite honest, I don't actually want Messi at Arsenal. I think the club can actually do much better than Messi. I know probably that's going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths, but I don't think he's going to cut it in the Premier League. I think we, when we've played Messi and we played Barcelona, I think we've really taken it to them. They haven't really run completely rampant on us. So I don't even want Messi. So yeah, no more talk of that. But yeah, I would like to sort of see no injuries from international duty. I'm hoping the players can sort of stay fit and we can really start the season off with a bang. I think we've got Fulham. I can't remember who our second fixture is, but then we've got Liverpool at the end of September. And then October is going to be absolutely crazy. I think we've got Chelsea, Man U, City, everybody. So if we can really keep our players fit and get some momentum going, that'll be great. Also maybe, bring in a few more signings. I think, I don't think Arteta wants to possibly keep Matteo. I don't think he can control him. I think he's a bit of a wild card in the midfield. As great as the kid is, he's got an engine, but I don't know. I just think there's probably other players who could probably do a little bit better than what he's capable of at the moment. So either loan him out or let him go. And I think PSG, there's big clubs that are actually wanting them and clubs that actually have the money. So like I was saying, we can't let players go for less than what they're actually capable or what they actually are worth. Guendouzi we bought him for something ridiculous, and then after his first week or first month, all of a sudden he's valued at 80 million. Then let's take the 80 million. Why are we going to sell him now for 25 million or 30 million or whatever, and then we can bring in another 2 or 3 players. Chelsea's going absolutely crazy in the transfer market. But yeah, I think top 3, I would like to see top 3. Maybe if we get a bit of luck and we beat the top teams, we could possibly challenge for the title. I think this is going to be a true test for Arteta. I mean, he's got all 4 competitions that he's going to be playing in. And I think the players are going to be up for it. If we can get Aubameyang to sign as soon as possible before the start of the season, I think that's really going to lay a statement out. And we can get into Champions League or even win Europa League. Oh man, I'd love to see the players that are going to pull in. But For any viewers, just touching on what Clayton mentioned. I mean, any Arsenal supporters in PE, please, guys, you don't have to be members to pull through, but if you want to become a member, that's even better. I think we're going to be putting our application form up on the website, or not on the website, on the Facebook page quite soon, or just contact us on Facebook. And it's not only in PE. We are actually now branching out. So if there's any guys in Joburg or East London or in other provinces that are struggling to look for a supporters club, we're trying to provide for everybody. It's for the love of Arsenal. So, if you feel that we are your fit, by all means, we'll welcome you with open arms. We all the Arsenal family, and hopefully we could see the guys lift the trophy with all together.
No, I think that's great. And guys, don't forget, go if you're in PE, you have to go down. It's Eddie's. Where is it in PE? Sorry, I'm not too sure. I don't know.
It's Eddie Max at VP. Eddie Max at VP.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but just look for PE Supporters Club on all the platforms. You'll find their details. I will post their details. Guys, thanks again. It's always a pleasure. I think the other thing, sorry, before we end up, what I wanted to say was people don't understand what it's like to be part of these supporters clubs. And I've joined for the past few years here in Joburg, and it's really truly an amazing event. You meet people, you meet different types of people across your province, across wherever. If you're in another province, you have a home to go and watch a game. And you can't get 2 or 3 everywhere, but if you go to a supporters club, you're definitely getting a game. So it's really nice to share it with the fans. And us as South Africans, I'm sure you guys too, we only have United and Liverpool friends, which is kind of a bit annoying. So to have a place where it says that there's Arsenal people here is really great, and I really think you should check out everyone. If you're in any part of the country, there's ones in Cape Town, PE, Joburg, and Durban. But yeah, the PE guys are really doing some cool stuff. They're back in action, the first ones in South Africa. So thanks again for everything you're doing, guys, for being on Gooners, for just showing your love to Arsenal. I think as South Africans, we need to see this, and it's great to see the passion you guys have, knowing that wherever we are across this beautiful country, we're all speaking the same language, and it's the Gooner language or the Gooner tongue. So yeah, thanks again. Till the next one, till next match day. I'm sure you guys are going to be at the bar for the 12th. Yeah, so catch them there. And obviously you'll catch them here with their views. But guys, it's Earle, it's Murray, it's Clayton, the PE Gooner team, and it's me, Keish from Goonercast SA. Season review for Arsenal last season. We out. Thanks, guys.